Cameron and Naomi need to be relevant together at the same time.
Yes.
Fox needs to be relevant and consistent.
Yep.
You know, they have the talent. They have the ability. All those that we named, yeah, they're all beautiful, calendar pinup type looking people, but every single one of them have the ability because we've seen it as the Divas division left the wrestling and got into the total
models.
Divas and the models and the storylines and the nonsense. So we know they can wrestle.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's how we didn't even name one of the best one out of all of them, which I hate what they're doing with her right now, and that's Natalya.
Yes. I would like to see her pull the double duty. Be that beautiful woman that's managing Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, who I think are a great tag team.
Best tag team in 15 years.
And let me also just say I'm very, very pissed off that they lost.
One of the worst
Extreme Rules.
One of the worst decisions they possibly could have made was to put the belts on New Day.
But at the same time, maybe they're working that double turn. Maybe they're going to push New Day as heels, push the world's greatest.
I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a split with the New Day because there's going to be jealousy of which one of the two is defending the titles.
Yes.
And it's going to cause for one of them to leave.
Yes, exactly.
Which I see being Xavier Woods.
Yes.
That's the odd man out.
The thing is with Xavier Woods is the mouthpiece of that tag.
True, but Big E's been taking more of a vocal part, which that's part of his his maturation in this business.
Yep.
Kofi's always been the type to talk.
Exactly.
So I think Xavier Woods would be somebody that maybe moves on and grabs somebody like R-Truth and becomes a tag team with R-Truth.
Exactly.
Not saying because one they're both black, but
correct.
R-Truth has so much ability, and they keep giving these little bumps, and then they throw him in a closet.
Yeah.
And then you don't hear from him for 2 months, and then they bring him out and they give him these little bumps. Now you want to make him relevant, but not have to put a title on him. Then put him in a tag team that they'll be very flashy and very talented to watch.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
You don't have to give him a title, but
at
least they'll be fun to watch. Yeah, they'll be fun to watch. I mean, they absolutely buried the Ascension.
Yeah, where did those guys
ever
go?
Since they got beat up by all the old guys.
Yeah,
that was it. They're done.
Retirement home.
I mean, they're part of Battle Royals. They're part of 6-man tags.
And they were supposed to be the next big thing in the tag team division.
It was because they came out with the whole "we're better than LOD, we're better than Demolition," even though they had a similar look.
Yep.
And I think they embarrassed themselves and got laughed right out of the building because nobody took them serious in the fan base. And you saw on Twitter all the WWE alum and Hall of Famers that were absolutely ripping the gimmick apart. I mean, ripping the gimmick apart. Right down to LOD's Animal, he ripped them apart. Demolition, both members, Axe and Smash, ripped them apart. Former tag teams like Spirit Squad ripped them up. New Age Outlaws ripped them up. NWO ripped them up, literally and physically. So, I mean, it was a good idea for NXT. It was a bad idea for WWE.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's kind of what happens when creative doesn't have a backup plan.
Yep.
You watch these guys just kind of fade away, and they're either going to have to grab the brass ring themselves and come up with a different idea, or they're going to get buried. They're going to get buried and eventually released.
Yep.
So it's a shame because the tag team ranks could be good.
Yep.
But it seems like every single tag team that gets good, they break up.
That's why I just hope that they keep Kidd and Cesaro together. Like when they lost the tag team titles, it's not like they were getting in each other's faces. Like you see sometimes when teams lose the tag team championship, they were still together. They were mouthing off to New Day as they walked out. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I still see this feud going on. I see Cesaro and Kidd staying together. They're a great tag team. And I think these guys could really stay together for a long time. And it makes both of them relevant when they're two of the best athletes in the WWE. So I really hope they keep them on TV.
Easily. Kenny Kluska's favorite tag team. Speaking about Jobbers 365 Radio's Real Sports with Kenny Kluska, who aired about 4 o'clock, an hour before us. His favorite wrestler is Tyson Kidd
and Cesaro.
He loves them. He was very upset.
And I mean, his Stratomatic team name is the American Dreams. I mean,
and his minor league team is the greatest minor league team in the universe.
Exactly.
Masters of the minor league universe.
Masters of the minor league universe. You can tell that we mix baseball with wrestling
with everything in real life.
Absolutely.
I just made the greatest popcorn in the universe.
There you go. It was delicious.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to say goodbye to Nick as he's got to go downstairs and play some makeup games.
Yep.
Hopefully his opponent is here. So sit back, relax. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
This is the War Machine Rhino, the last ever ECW World Heavyweight Champion, and you're listening to Damage 365 Radio. Keep listening or you'll get gored in half.
You think you know me?
Hey guys, do you like pro wrestling? Of course you do. It's the greatest thing in the world. Hi, my name is Emil J. You may have seen me as the ring announcer for Combat Zone Wrestling, On Point Wrestling, Dojo Wars, and WSU, just to name a few. But now I'm proud to announce that the Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore is the premier location for wrestling merchandise. Every Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Englishtown, New Jersey at the Englishtown Flea Market, booth number 35 in the Green Building, the Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore has it all. Everything from DVDs and figures from around the world to t-shirts and lucha masks in both kids and adult sizes, and much more. Even tickets to upcoming events. Log on to facebook.com/FunkensteinINC for full details on everything they have to offer, including weekly specials and where they'll be vending at this weekend. So check out facebook.com/FunkensteinINC and take the short drive to Englishtown, New Jersey and visit my friends at the Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore this weekend to start or add to your wrestling collection. And hey, tell them MLJ sent you. The Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, the main event of wrestling collectibles.
This is Tito Santana, and you're listening to Damage 365 Radio. Arriba!
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. And because this is live radio and things happen where we can't control, at this moment, it does not look like Barbie Hayden is going to give us a call. She's already 10 minutes past the requested time. So, without further ado, we'd like to play the long-awaited interview from Paul London that occurred a couple weeks back at a Warriors of Wrestling show, courtesy of Richie DeGreg Promotions, also known as RDP Promotions. So, you want to just sit back, relax, and listen to this promo, and then it'll be followed by his... promo's hilarious, folks. I mean... ridiculous. But it'll be also followed by his long-awaited sit-down interview that took place at Mike's Olympic Grill in Staten Island, New York.
Hello, this is the intrepid traveler, Paul London. Good journey, y'all. When you're ready to whip your rock out, do it with Coach Kev at Damage 365 Radio.
We're here live at Warriors of Wrestling with former WWE superstar Paul London. Welcome to Staten Island.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask you a couple questions that we basically cover with all the talent that we interview. But before we head that out, I want to say, some of the things that I read up on you, I want to confirm. They're
I don't
legit,
believe all of it.
Because, whatever they put on the internet.
Let me just clarify, I've never been married. It's on my Wikipedia page that I'm married, I think, to Tracy Smothers' daughter or something weird like that. Yeah, I think I met her once.
Did you date divas?
I did. I did more than just date them, too,
okay.
But yeah. But I'm not married. I've never been married. I probably never will. I don't think there's a girl out there that's that Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. So you attended Westlake High School in Texas.
I did, Austin Westlake.
And you helped create the high school's wrestling team.
Yeah, the high school I went to, Austin Westlake, is very much like the high school in Varsity Blues, where it's football. Like everyone kisses the football team's ass. It's all football. It's such an overpopulated school that they actually wanted to split the school up and make 2 high schools in the city of Westlake. But because they didn't want them competing with each other, I'm not kidding you. They kept it, and they just built like a 9th grade center. So it was a very football-heavy school, and a lot of the other schools had amateur wrestling programs, and I knew that was something that would be helpful in my journey. And so we had to find a teacher that had a wrestling background, so we located the geology teacher. Yeah, he was a bit of a nerd, but he knew what he was talking about. I mean, he was sufficient, and he helped us get the program off the ground.
Okay.
And now they have a girls program, and like the program has actually really flourished. So it's kind of.
I mean, you got to be proud. I mean, you got that started.
Yeah. When I go back to Austin, if it's wrestling season, I try and catch a few matches. But I feel kind of like that creep in the stands who's all old and watching boys wrestle. It's weird. You know what I mean?
So in other words, you're a fan.
Yeah.
You're one of us.
Pretty much.
And I saw that you currently and still hold the record for the quickest pin at 7.4 seconds.
Yeah, that was. It should still hold. As I was saying, if I found out some kid beat it, I'm gonna go and whip his tail. Unless he's in the super heavyweight division. But yeah, it was weird. I always try to incorporate wrestling moves that I could get away with, like pro wrestling moves that I could get away with in an amateur match. But it's really difficult because anytime you try and lift somebody up, they immediately will penalize you for potentially dangerous or whatever that rule is called. So this kid tried to get away from me, and I grabbed his ankle and I dragged him back into the circle, and then he got up and he just started charging at me. So I speared him right into a pin, and it was all within 7.5 seconds. And yeah, I had all my friends there that were wrestling fans. They were all like treating it like a pro wrestling show, and it was wild. It was fun though.
Now, how did you go from high school amateur wrestling and knew that you wanted to get into professional wrestling?
Well, I knew I wanted to be a pro wrestler since I was probably 11. I stumbled upon a WWF magazine at the grocery store, and my mom wouldn't buy it for me, so I did what most kids do. I hid it under the groceries, so by the time she got to the checkout line, it was there, and she kind of put her on the spot, and so she bought it, and I got hooked. I started watching the program, like I think it was Superstars and Wrestling Challenge, and Wrestling Challenge came on Sundays whenever I was supposed to go to church, so every Sunday I happened to be really sick, like with a cough or something. Like I'm not a church guy. I'm in other cults, and but I just was hooked. I was just hooked, you know, because like before I was a wrestler, I was an actor. I did a lot of theater, but I was always a very physical kid. My dad makes the joke, or he likes to tell me, he reminds me that one time we were going somewhere with like I can't remember, some of my friends, and every time we passed a different medical center, my friends would be like, "Oh, that's where my doctor is," and like my other friends, "Oh, that's where my doctor is," and then we passed the ER, and I said, "Oh, that's where my doctor is." So, I mean, I was always very physical, and wrestling just seemed a little easier to attain than breaking through that window in the TV screen into acting. And wrestling's fun. You know, I grew up on a trampoline. Pretty much, I was that oddball kid that didn't have a lot of friends because nobody wanted to come over because they knew that I would just be watching wrestling all weekend or jumping on the trampoline. So I pushed the trampoline up next to a tree, and I started jumping out of the tree, and then that got boring, and I pushed my trampoline up against our house, and I started jumping off our house onto the trampoline, and then that got boring, and so then I started pushing it up where I could jump over the power lines and I didn't realize that was such a stupid thing until my dad pointed out that I could die. But yeah, I don't know. I just grew up on a trampoline, and it really serviced me in pro wrestling. So amateur wrestling, it wasn't what I wanted to do, but it was just the closest thing I could do at the time. And so I always knew I wanted to be a pro. But what I did was, out of high school, my father was real adamant about me going to college, but I wasn't that stoked for it because I thought, oh, that's a 4-year delay on my dream, right. You know. So what I did was every college that I chose to go to, I made sure that there was a wrestling school nearby. So